He was telling me with good conscience, I know everything about this business. I've been doing it 19 years. I know where everybody gets everything, and I know where the good deals are. And he tried to lie to me and say it came straight from Amazon and sell it to me for double the price. Shame on you. Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Liquidation Motivation. And this episode's gonna be about, is liquidation going to die? Is it gonna die, man? Everything is changing in the liquidation world, and I'm not sure where the future is going. I mean, what is happening? End users are buying up contracts that typically brokers were buying, right? See, in the past, some rich guy with a big warehouse would buy up the Amazon contracts and then sell them to everybody else. And that's how we can build liquidation stores, pallet stores, bin stores. We can build the liquidation world. But now what's happening is we have all these auction houses opening up everywhere, and these auction houses are buying up the contracts. So they're the end users of these loads. So one thing that they're doing is they're buying the loads, taking out all the good stuff and reselling the bad stuff. There is processed shit everywhere you can find on the market. There's processed shit in Texas, Pennsylvania, Florida. Everywhere you go, there's processed stuff. And when there's processed stuff, most of the value is taken out and you can't pass that value on to the customers. Now, I don't have a problem buying processed stuff if it's the right price, right? But what's happening is these guys are trying to recoup almost all of their money out of the truckload, out of the pallets of processed merchandise. And so who gets screwed in the long run? The people that are buying those truckloads. I don't want to say I don't recommend process. If you can get it cheap enough, it works as filler loads. But it's not the magic sauce that's going to make your bin store, liquidation store, pallet store work. It's not. Nobody just wants to buy mediocre stuff. Everybody deserves to take the chance to hit a home run. And if you're buying processed stuff, the home run's already taken out of there, right? Be freaking aware. There's people selling shit out there that they're telling you it's not processed, or they're lying to you. Listen, let me say this to every vendor, every pallet salesperson, every truckload salesperson. If you sell a processed load and you don't tell the person you're selling it to, you're being fucking dishonest. I mean, that is the bottom of the barrel dishonest. I was gonna buy a truckload this week. I'm not gonna say what it was. I probably should, but I don't know why. I'm not gonna say what it was. I was gonna buy a truckload this week. Before I bought it, I talked to somebody else. I said, hey, they make those loads. I'm like, what do you mean they make those loads? No, they're raw loads. Oh no, they make them. And then I started investigating, and guess what? They manufacture these loads. So what happens when somebody puts their grubby fingers on all the product? What happens to the iPads, the Apple Watches, the good stuff, the laptop? What happens to all that stuff? It's all pilfered out, guys. It's all pilfered out. Now, if you want to sell that shit, sell it. But tell your goddamn customers that they're processed. Tell them that they're processed. I mean, that's like one of the dirtiest things you can do in this business, is not tell your customers they're processed. All right, that happened. Second thing that happened that pissed me off this week, is this guy calls me up, and I should rat this bastard out too. He says, I've been in the business 19 years, Tom. How come you haven't bought any loads from me? I said, I don't know, maybe you charge too much. I don't know. Tell me what deals you got. He says, I got a Lowe's deal. I got Lowe's deals for $10,000 in Florida. I said, Lowe's in Florida, I already buy those. I pay $3,500 plus shipping, which is like $5,000. And this guy's trying to charge me $10,000. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, and then he says, I have a load designed for bin stores in South Florida coming straight from Amazon. And I said, wow, tell me more about that load. He goes, oh yeah, 24 pallets. They're 4-foot pallets. They are beautiful. He sends me pictures, right? I said, how much is this load? He said, $15,000. I go to my emails and I look up the picture and I find the same exact picture from a processed Amazon facility selling for $7,500. So this David guy, who said he'd been in the business for 19 years up in the Northeast, is selling that same load for 15 grand. He told me they're coming straight from Amazon. That guy is dishonest. That was horrible. That's the most atrocious thing I've ever seen in my life. First of all, somebody trying to make $7,500 off one load, and then trying to make a $7,500 load, sell it for $15,000 and it's all processed? Nobody can make money off his damn loads. No wonder why nobody buys anything from you, David. That was the worst I've ever seen in my 20-something years in this business. I couldn't believe this guy trying to double the price on the loads, double the price on the process, and telling me they're from an Amazon facility. If you're new in this business, be freaking careful. Hey, text me, 315-778-8744. If you're gonna buy from somebody, let me give you a reference. I don't know everybody out there, but I know a lot of people out there. Let me at least say, yes, this guy's good, or no, this guy's bad. Or I might even say, hey, don't buy from that guy because he's buying from this other guy. I'll tell you exactly where to get these loads from. This is the worst week in liquidation that I've had in a long time. One, I've been told this week all prices are going up. All prices across the board are going up because auction houses are bidding up these contracts. They're bidding up these contracts so that bin stores, pallet sales, all of us cannot afford to buy them anymore. Or we're just gonna have to raise our prices, which when you raise the law of supply and demand dictates if we raise our prices, we're gonna sell less stuff, right? That's just the way it goes. Everybody makes less money. So one, prices are going up. They said 90 days, wait 90 days, guaranteed. LPN are gonna be going up to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16%. You never know how far they're gonna go up. They are going up, auction houses are buying up the contracts. Two, people are processing loads and not frickin' telling you. And three, I met this guy, David, who tried to double the value, double the price on loads that I'm already getting, already direct on. He was telling me with good conscience, I know everything about this business. I've been doing it 19 years. I know where everybody gets everything and I know where the good deals are. And he tried to lie to me and say it came straight from Amazon and sell it to me for double the price. Shame on you. Okay, so if you're a truckload pallet seller, one thing that I'm getting real heavy into lately is exporting. I've been having a lot of customers reach out to me to export to South America, Cayman Islands, Panama, all over the Western Hemisphere. Like this load right here, this guy wanted LPN clothing. So we have a whole truckload of LPN clothing that's getting shipped out tomorrow to Panama. I got this other load, so we're trying to see how many mystery boxes and how many coffin boxes fit in a 40-foot container, right? So I got all these mystery boxes. Look at how tall and stacked these mystery boxes are. I had to ship 480 mystery boxes and 240 coffin boxes in one container. I don't know if they'll fit. You guys think they're gonna fit? I don't know, a 40-foot container. So we're gonna hand stack it floor to ceiling. Now, what they like about this is that these are a lot easier for them to unload. Remember, they don't care how the truck is loaded because the labor down there is really inexpensive. The labor is cheap in these countries, so they don't care if they pay 10 guys to unload a truck, hand load a truck. So you can floor load it and it doesn't bother them. They do like the smaller boxes better, especially for the bin stores in these South American countries, because it's a lot easier to load the bins. Obviously, every bin store likes these boxes better because they're easier to load the bins. So you too should think about exporting stuff to South and Central America. What all of my clients are telling me is that they can't get this kind of merchandise, this Amazon merchandise in South America. So what we sell for here, they can get double the value, because I've always said to them, like, how can you buy this load off me and then pay $7,000 to ship it to Panama? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But the reasoning is that they get double the amount for everything down there. They can't get this merchandise. If you go to some of these South American countries, like I went to Colombia one time, and man, everything was just fake there. There was nothing real, everything was fake, and everything was expensive. And the average person in these countries can't afford most of the stuff there. So, when you bring in this product that is not available down there, they get real excited about it and they're willing to pay up on it. So this one client I have has 20 bin stores in Panama. So he needs a lot of truckloads every week. Unfortunately, I'm not supplying all of them. I'm supplying some of them, but I'm trying to get the whole contract. That way I can become the biggest buyer that I can be, right? Listen, if you're moving 1 truckload a month, 2 truckloads a month, a lot of people don't want to take your calls. But if you're moving 10, 20, 30 truckloads a month, everybody wants to talk to you because they want to sell you deals. I have to buy at least 4 or 5 truckloads a week, and it's easier to get in people's ears because I'm buying in this kind of volume. And my goal is just to up that volume to 10, 20 truckloads a week, because then everybody wants to talk to you, right? Because the contract holders want to sell the merchandise. They need to sell the merchandise. So get yourself some export customers. It's going to be fun tomorrow loading all of these boxes, 480 of these, 192 of those into one container. Do you think they'll fit? Here's a few things we found in our FC pallets. Found a bunch of these M18 fuel Milwaukee impact drills, man, a whole bunch of them, man. I was pretty excited. You know, a bunch of computer parts. You always love computer parts. This is what my kids really like. The Pit Vipers, baby. I mean, I'm hoping they're authentic, but these things are about $100, Pit Vipers. You never know. You know, FC, some of the FCs that you get, man, they impress the shit out of you. Other ones, I got a load from a really big retailer, and it was an FC load, and it was all covered in this black dust. I had a couple employees go home sick. One employee went to the hospital. They said he had dust on his lungs, which I'd never really heard about before, but so he was out for 4 or 5 days, all from the dirt from an FC load came out of North Carolina. I mean, I didn't complain about it. It's just the way it is. But you know, some loads coming great, some loads coming bad. It's how do you filter through? You got to try them out, filter through them, and make it work. Now, this is what I want to say. B-stock, right? B-stock. We all need to band together and fight B-stock on their shipping charges. The problem is that they have loads at really decent prices, but then they charge $1,000, $1,500 more to ship than anybody else. If I could ship it myself, it would be half the price. But for some reason, I don't know if that cost is flowing through to B-stock, or if the shipping company just feels like they have a monopoly on the shipments, and therefore they're the ones charging the exorbitant fees, right? But something needs to be fixed. Everybody needs to call their B-stock rep. Everybody needs to get a hold of B-stock and say, fix your damn shipping problems. Now, I noticed today that Costco and some of their auctions on B-stock has Costco direct shipping. And when you get a quote from them, the price is right. When you get a quote from B-stock, it's $1,000, $1,500 more. B-stock, I will buy a lot more from you if you fix your damn shipping prices, all right? And what you're really doing, B-stock, and this is, listen, Costco, Amazon, Ashley, everybody who sells on B-stock, you need to know I pay less for your load. I'm talking to you retailers out there, all of the retailers who are on B-stock, I pay less for your load because B-stock charges more in shipping. Do you understand that? Target, you get less money for your load because B-stock charges me $3,000 shipping when it should be $1,500, right? Because I know what I'll pay for the whole load, and I add shipping onto that price that I'll pay for the whole load. So you are getting less money. And I see a couple vendors doing direct shipping, and you need to do that. Cut B-stock out of the shipping business because they are screwing all of us. And you will get more money if they can stop screwing us. B-stock, just fix it. Just fix it. I have an FC load coming in right now into my Georgia store. All right, it's coming from B-stock, but the shipping is $2,700 on a load that should be $1,200 shipping. I got to pay more money, but they're just like, well, this is just the way it works. You know, we don't control shipping. It's a fixed, it's a fixed rate from the vendor, but I don't know who's telling me the truth. I think it's C.H. Robinson is their shipping partner, and we got B-stock. Who is making that extra $1,000, $1,500? C.H. Robinson or B-stock? I don't know. I don't give a shit. All I know is I'm losing out money because the shipping is way too much. B-stock, everybody, all my listeners, all my viewers, help me fight B-stock and their shipping prices. Everybody call your rep. Everybody email them. Go on the little chat thing on B-stock and say, hey, your shipping prices are too much and you guys need to fix it. I think we can do it as a team. As a team together, we can fight these exorbitant fees. I'm still battling my Home Depot deal. I'm not really battling it because I talked to my vendor. If you watched my last video, you understood that I ordered a Home Depot truckload. It came in with 0 tools. They showed compassion for my argument, but they didn't really take much credence to it. They're just like, oh, well, that's the way it comes. I'm like, well, then frickin' tell people that's the way it comes. Don't sell me something without telling me what it is. Maybe it's my fault for not asking as many questions. I mean, this is a simple Lowe's load, right? You just get tools. You can see I got tools everywhere because I get 3, 4, 5 loads, truckloads a week, right? You get lots of tools in them. You also get a lot of other stuff in it, but you get a lot of tools in it. So when I order a Home Depot load from the same company, I expect frickin' tools. And if they're not gonna come with frickin' tools, you should probably frickin' tell me. I think that would make a lot of sense, don't you? So I appreciate everybody commenting on my last video, giving me advice about the Home Depot. A bunch of people reached out to me and told me exactly how it all works, the different kind of loads that you gotta buy, and that I shouldn't be buying those particular loads for my vendor. Now that vendor does really well for me in the Lowe's, not so well for me in the Home Depot. So, you know, I learned my lesson. I learned my $9,000 lesson, and I just won't buy them again. But I did have a lot of people reach out to me, walk me through how it all works. I mean, I should have done the research ahead of time. You guys should do the research ahead of time. Don't make a $9,000 mistake like I did. I mean, it's not a huge mistake because I did get a lot of merchandise in it. It's just not the merchandise that I was looking for, right? I wasn't looking for bathtubs and toilets and kitchen cabinets and carpets and furniture. I wasn't looking for that. When I order Home Depot, I expect to get tools, right? You guys would expect to get tools too, but I didn't get any tools. So I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So no more Home Depot for me unless I find the tool loads. I'm imagining what's happening is they're pulling the tools out. They're selling them. I know there's like an OPE. I think it's outdoor power equipment load, you know, but it's much, much more expensive than a general merchandise load. But tell me that general merchandise doesn't have tools, and then I won't have to make a video about how they don't have any tools. So I will no longer be buying Home Depot. I'm gonna stick to the Lowe's. Lowe's is only 40 miles away from me. You know, I do well with Lowe's. So if anybody needs any Lowe's out there, they're all around the country. They're reasonably priced. You know, you can probably get a load between $5,000 and $5,500, depending on how much shipping it is to you. A full truckload, 26 pallets. It might be less pallets, but you know, might be some double space pallets. Some pallets are shitty, some pallets are great, but overall the loads are profitable. I've been buying them for years now, for over 5 years now, and I make money on them. I make money on them. They're a really good money maker for me, so I'm gonna continue buying the loads. You can get manifested loads. So I bought in the manifested loads like from Inmar, and you know, they're manifested. So let's say I pay $5,000 delivered for my Lowe's truckload here. A manifested load, I bought one time, it was like $6,800. It was a little bit more, but it was manifested, so I was excited, right? I bring it in, and it looks exactly like my normal Lowe's. And you know, there seemed to be even more broken stuff on that load. If they have something that's broken, cut in half, let's say that they had a smashed window, they would still manifest that window on the manifest. So I don't know if it was any benefit to having a manifest load. I paid more, I seemed to get less, and it wasn't worth it. So, I mean, I'm not saying all are bad. I'm just saying the one that I got was bad, and I don't recommend it. You might as well just buy the general merchandise unmanifested, you know, out of a distribution center. It's just as good. So this load that I brought in was a 480 box mystery box load, and I bought 2 of them, and I had them stuffed into one truck. The good part is I saved $2,200 shipping because I put 2 loads in one truck. The bad part is it does come in a little bit banged up. You can see we got the Leaning Tower of Pisa here, and the bottom boxes are a little bit smashed up, but normally it doesn't affect any of the product. There's not a lot of breakable stuff in these pallets, so it really doesn't matter. You can see the pallets here. There's always gonna be some damaged boxes, but to save that much on shipping, it really brought my costs down a lot, and it made the load profitable. It made the load make a lot of sense. So instead of buying 480 boxes in one truck, we got 960 boxes in the truck. And what they did is they put them all in there sideways. And you guys know when you have to unload a truckload that is all sideways, it is a pain in the bazanga. It is horrible. It is definitely a hard thing to unload. My guys, you know, made a mess unloading them. A lot of them fell over, but that's the cost you have to pay if you want to save $2,300 in shipping. I think it was worth it. My guys had to go through 2 hours of hell. Is that worth $2,300? Yeah, I think it's worth it. So yeah, so these loads will come in all damaged up, all smashed up, but you're gonna save the money on the shipping. You know, the LPN comes in pretty good. These come in 8 LPN boxes per pallet. So these really didn't come in damaged at all. You could definitely put, I've had these where we put 12 on a pallet, then things on the bottom get smashed. But once again, it really doesn't affect the product in it. The product is pretty solid. there's very little breakables. So I like to save the money on the shipping. I like to save money any way that I can. That way I bring my costs down so I can sell less, so I can make more money, my customers can make more money, and then everybody ends up happy. Because in this business, everybody needs to make money. Look at this little pallet. This little pallet must have been tall. This must have fell over in the shipping process. You can see how it's all smashed up at the bottom. This was the same height as the other ones, but it all fell over. But these are the mystery boxes. These mystery boxes are going to the Cayman Islands tomorrow, baby. 1:30 tomorrow, I gotta load them up for the Cayman Islands. They love this product down there. They order from me once every couple weeks. You know, the problem is when they want to order, my biggest problem with export companies is that they think liquidation is just easy and like you place an order, it comes in and you ship it out. It doesn't work that way. You place an order, it doesn't get shipped for 4 days. The truck breaks down. So I'm like, don't send me the container until I get it on my property and it's ready to be loaded. They want to set up the shipping a week ahead of time before the stuff is there. And you know, what can go wrong will go wrong, right? And that happened again every time I order a load for export, something goes wrong. So don't order the container until you get it on site in your property. Don't trust anybody else. I had another coffin box load that I paid for. Guy's like, load is ready to go. I paid for it. Then 7 days later, I'm like, dude, where's my load? He's like, oh, it's not ready yet. I'm like, well, how long till it'll be ready? He's like, I can't answer that. Well, then I need to get my money back. You can't keep $30,000 of mine if you can't tell me when I'm gonna get this load. Well, it should be ready soon. Well, how soon is soon? Well, I can't tell. I'm like, just send me my money back. And then it took 6 frickin' days to get my money back. So I sat there for almost 2.5 weeks with no product and no money. And so I didn't have that 30,000 to buy the next load that's going on. So if you're in a cash flow situation, which I'm not saying my cash flow is always bad or always good, you know, it's a frickin' roller coaster ride in this business. So, you know, I needed that money back. That customer paid me that money to get the load. I used the customer's money to buy it. It sat there for 2.5 weeks. Finally, I got it back so I could buy the next load, and that came in 2 days. So, I mean, this business is, if you're not ready for chaos and ambiguity and issues, don't get in this business, because this is not wholesale, right? Wholesale is you call up Campbell's and you order soup pallets, and they deliver soup pallet in 3 days. They look perfect, and there's gonna be nothing wrong with it, and you can sell it. That's not the liquidation business. The liquidation business says what can go wrong will go wrong. So we're building a pop culture museum. If you go to therarestdao.com, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, DAO, rarestdao.com. You know, we have a website, it's kind of a crypto project, but we're trying to build a pop culture museum. So Tyson is putting together this NASA Lego set for the museum, and Toby's kind of helping out a little bit.
Yeah,
but
kind of. I'm stuck on one rocket.
So we looked it up, and it said on average it takes 18 hours to build this. So he started here at 10 o'clock, and it's now 7 o'clock at night. He's been 9 straight hours working on this, trying to get it done. I told him we can't leave until he gets it done. So it looks like he's almost down. Are you in the last bag?
Yeah.
He's in the last bag. He has a time lapse going for the build, but this is the whole NASA rocket Lego setup.
Not the whole, but
thousands and thousands of pieces. So we've also bought a lot of other things. You can see over in the corner we got all these toys saved up, the Michael Jordan posters. I figured it's going to take like 1 million toys, 1 million pieces in order to build this museum. Over here I bought a few pieces of sports memorabilia, you know, for the museum. So you can see I got the Pete Rose autographed jersey here, Paul. Now Pete Rose just passed away recently, and he's going to be put into the Hall of Fame. So that should have some value. That should go up in some value. Got Derek Jeter stuff. You know, we got Mickey Mantle stuff, Babe Ruth. Up here this is an autographed helmet for Joe Namath. This thing's about $800. It's an Alabama helmet here. This is worth about $800, Joe Namath. Our Mari Cooper autographed jersey. Look at, hey, we got a boxing glove, guys. You guys know whose boxing glove that is right there? Who autographed that boxing glove? Anybody know? That's right, it's the great Butterbean, baby. The great Butterbean. I used to love watching him fight. He was a lot of fun to watch. So I'm starting to collect all this stuff so I can build my museum. I need to get thousands and thousands of pieces together just so I can get it started. But it's gonna be all about pop culture. It's gonna be about toys. It's gonna be about Hollywood. It's gonna be about sports. It's just anything, you know, the whole premise of my project is that rich people buy the rarest of the rarest assets and then they put it in their own private collection so everybody doesn't get to see it. And I think that's kind of bullshit. So I am trying to crowdfund on my crypto project to buy those assets, put them in a museum, and then let everybody see it for free, right? Everybody's get to see these national treasures that belong to you and me. It doesn't belong to some rich prick just because he's got $1 billion and he buys something and throws it inside his desk, or the guy who bought the copy of the Constitution and hung it in his bathroom. You know, that's disrespectful to this community, to us. There's no Smithsonian yet for pop culture. If you go to the American History Museum, it's all stuff like my dad used to like, you know, old stuff. You know, it's nothing that people younger than that would enjoy. So, you know, we're trying to build the Smithsonian of pop culture, probably here in Orlando, Florida. And, you know, I've started on that mission. That's kind of like my goal, my long-term retirement goal, the thing that I want to do when I'm done, when I'm getting out of liquidation, and, you know, try to move on that project and try to build that for the rest of my life. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, guys, thanks for watching today. I'm sorry I'm so freaking angry on this video. I'm a very positive person. I don't like to get angry, don't like to get frustrated, but so many things has kind of burned me in the last 2 weeks, that I wanted to get my frustrations out to you guys so you guys don't make the same mistakes that I've been making, okay? So today is Frustrated Tom's Day, all right? Frustrated liquidation motivation. I apologize. I'm gonna shake things off. I'm gonna get back into a positive mental attitude, and my next video is gonna be incredible for you guys. Hey, thanks for watching. Now go out there and make some money.